Hello, can you hear me okay?
I'm good. Nice to meet you, Molly.
It's nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a huge fan. I've been looking forward to this all week. So thanks for hopping on here.
Thank you for
And
having me. It means a lot.
yes, we are. Where are you at right now? Are you in California?
I'm in California in a hotel room. And there's a story behind that, but it's not very interesting.
Okay. Well, we are here in Cincinnati, Ohio,
Yes.
Q102. I'm going to jump on in here. Your song Light Switch, one of our most popular songs on Q102 right now. Huge.
Wow.
It's blowing up.
Thank you for spreading it to the millions of people that listen to you.
So let's jump into the
Sure.
science behind this song. You looked at a light switch, you flipped it a few times, thought
Yeah.
up this whole song, the melody. When and where did this skill begin, Charlie?
So I'd say it all started in the shower, where it was originally conceptualized. I I have one of those like fancy showers with like a steamer in it, and I was spraying some eucalyptus. It was nice. My mind was relaxed, and I thought to myself, what if there was a song that started off like boop, 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 and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna for whatever reason, I just feel like I gotta document this. So I'm gonna wait. So I turned my mind off and I was like, oh, turn my mind off. If I had a light switch, I'd turn my mind off just like this. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And then I kind of abandoned the, turn my mind off thing. And then it turned into more of, I was listening to Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. And I was like, damn, I should make a song just like this, where the lyrics are just in your face. There's no like, this means this, that means that complex storyline to it. It's just, I'm in love with your body. Oh, and I was like, I want a song like that. And then I opened up my TikTok, just started making it. And I was like, this probably won't really amount to anything, so I'll just make a funny video. And it's funny when you watch the TikTok, you actually see my face start to realize, wait, this is actually kind of good. And I wrote the whole song just based off that whole thing, and it came together very quickly. And then the video went viral, which made me even more excited to finish it.
Okay, so were you this kid in school that was always like banging on your desk, and were
Oh,
you
yeah.
always doing that?
Yeah, I used to really make my teachers mad by mimicking the vibration of a cell phone. I would always go, and when the dead of quiet of the class, go like,
Drive them crazy.
Who's found?
That's awesome. So do you have an object next to you right now where you can just make a beat for us, make a sound?
Well, I'm in unfamiliar territory. I'm in a hotel room. Okay, so when I hit this wine bottle that I'm using to prop up my cell phone to speak to you, makes a B flat. So I'm thinking of what could be in a B flat. I don't know. I need, like, if I were in my house right now, I have pianos everywhere.
Yeah.
But because I'm in a hotel room, I'm kind of limited. I could, in Light Switch, actually, when you listen to the third chorus, because a lot of people don't know this, but I make each chorus louder than the last chorus. So the first chorus is 1 decibel lower than the third chorus. And when you listen to it, you'll be able to figure that out. But I'm actually tapping a wine glass at the very end. And that's a fifth, perfect fifth, key of E flat minor up a fifth. So it all kind of, works diatonically within the song, and also rhythmically as well.
Yeah, I could talk to you for hours about this stuff. It really is.
People are falling asleep. People are falling asleep at the wheel right now.
No, they're not. No, I love this. I love following you on TikTok. This is what you do. We'll get to that in a minute. But I have to ask about your friendship with Elton John. How did you two meet? Start from the beginning.
So we went to this popular restaurant called Craig's in Los Angeles, West Hollywood, and maitre d', who is named Craig, it's his restaurant, came up to me and he was like, do you want to meet Elton? I'm like, yeah. I went over, and Craig was like, Elton John, meet Charlie Puth. I'm like, nice to meet you, Sir Elton John. He was like, I know who you are. Listen to me right now. And he pulled me close and was like, you need to produce your own music. You can't work with a lot of producers. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, the way that you make your music is very unique, and you need to stick to just you making the music. It doesn't work when you involve too many people. Like, your 2019 music was not good. I'm like, I was a little taken aback, but I was like, wait, he's right. It wasn't good. Because
Yeah.
I always used to think that. I mean, it's not that it wasn't, it just wasn't, it's not as good as Light Switch. It's not as good as Attention. And he basically just affirmed that, and hearing a legend say that to you, especially something that you've been thinking yourself for such a long time, I think that was the start of the the growth of me. And then the pandemic happened and we were all at home, and then I kind of developed my presence online even more. And so that I'd say that was Elton John had a huge part of the rebirth of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. An incredible mentor. I mean, if you're going to get advice from anybody, I mean, wow. Do you just call him Elton, or is it like sir?
I call him Uncle Elton. I call him Uncle. I call him Elton. I mean, we're neighbors. We're literal next door neighbors.
That is amazing. I want to ask about, this beautiful song you both produced together, After All. What was that writing process like? You guys sit down, order pizza, have coffee. I mean, what was that like?
Well, he didn't want to make an album, and he walked over to my house, and I was like, you have to sing this song. He was like, no, this is for you. I'm like, this is the most Elton John song I've ever heard. This is an Elton John song. And I convinced him. I was like, just try, I'll drop the key. He's like, it's too high. I'm like, I'll drop the key. I could hear it. That's where the perfect pitch came in handy, because I transposed it in my head and was like, okay, it's going to be an F major now. And he came over, he sang the hell out of it, as he does, because he's Elton John. He did it in a couple of takes. I mean, he wrote the record with me, so we already knew it pretty well. And he got on a plane, and I literally finished that. That's the fastest record I've ever finished. And I, buttoned it up and mixed it and sent it off to him, and he was freaking out. He was FaceTiming me. He was like, oh my gosh. And then he started making his album based off of that first interaction with me, which is a huge honor to say that I helped inspire Elton John make his album.
That has to be so surreal. That really is incredible.
What's more surreal is that my parents were home when we were working on it, and they didn't know he was over. And I texted my mom. I was like, come into the studio. And Elton was there. Do you want to hear how I wrote Tiny Dancer? I just sat down and said, Blue Jean Baby. My parents were like white in the face. I've never seen.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. So they had no idea he was in the house, and then they walk in and he's just hanging out on the couch. Wow.
Yeah, my mom she doesn't get starstruck. I've introduced her to like Jeff Bezos, and she was like, oh, cool, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Like she does, but like when it comes to Elton John, I mean, that was a special moment.
That's amazing. What would you tell your 10-year-old self about your life today?
I'd say that it's very cool, but it's just as cool as the year 2000. And it's just I'll tell myself that you're able to get into restaurants a lot easier now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would say.
So some fun ones. You're a big TikToker, like I was saying earlier. I love following your stuff.
Thank you.
So you're one of my favorite accounts to follow. I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me and I'm a fan, but I'm going to switch this around. What's your favorite TikTok account to follow right now?
Oh man, there's this guy in Long Island, in Staten Island, named Cooj. He goes by Meals by Cooj, and he just goes around Staten Island, parts of New Jersey, and just with every bit of profanity, reviews his favorite cannoli shop, his favorite Italian sandwich shop. You have to look him up. And
okay, he's a food guy.
The food guy. And I got my usual, like, I love Charlie D'Amelio, and she's her whole family, they're so sweet and nice, and Dixie. And
yeah, I just actually talked to Dixie. I just had her on a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah, they're such a nice family. And there's so many, TikTok reminds me a lot of the early days of YouTube. And I still have, lifelong friends I've met in 2006 on YouTube. It's just like the reincarnation of it. I love it because it's so collaborative.
It is. And it's just evolving constantly, and you're seeing new things on there. Is there a trend that you're stuck on that's just in your For You page that you're cracking up at, or something you're liking right now?
I don't know if it's like if I can pinpoint one specific trend, but I really do love I guess it is a trend of people not taking themselves too seriously, like really taking the piss out of themselves. I see someone has a someone's in Thailand and holds up a really unusually small banana, and all of the comments are like, banana looks perfectly fine to me. That's a nice size banana. Maybe the banana's just nervous.
It is a lot of times. It's the comments section that I'm like, I gotta.
It's the comments that I. It's the comments that I live for.
Well, and you're getting a lot of people are remixing Light Switch a lot too. That's been a big thing on there.
I know. I heard and it's getting bigger too. I want to hear more remixes. I actually gave people on the internet the stems, for the non-musical people out there. That's the tracks of the song that make up the song, like the separate vocals, the separate drum tracks. I gave them all the separate files so they can take them and make remixes of them. And I like it when people, make fun of the song too.
Have some fun with it.
I embrace it.
Yeah. Well, you're very interactive with your fans and your whole creative process. And I, as somebody that loves your music and as a fan myself, I enjoy that. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
So, we were talking about, some fun questions here. When you do have some downtime, what are you binge watching? Is there a show you're into right now?
I don't really, the only show that I've ever binge watched, to be completely honest, is Euphoria. But that's not even like a binge worthy thing because it's just 7 episodes. But I've watched The Sopranos, and that's really it, honestly. I watched the Kanye trilogy.
Yeah.
3 episodes. I thought that was very inspiring, and every musician watching that should know that a record label is not going to be the saving grace, that you have to make your vision at the end of the day, and someone will facilitate it. So there's that. And, other than that, I'm just watching a bunch of TikToks. I don't really find myself watching TV.
One last question to wrap things up. I know you have a few other people to talk to today. Speaking of having time, you're busy. When you do have, just picture this one free day to do whatever you love most, what are you doing?
Probably, I don't know, like go for a drive in a car, as opposed to what? Just listen to music and just drive around. It's just been one of my favorite things to do forever. So
it's therapeutic.
It is therapeutic.
It is. Yeah. Well, I hope you get some downtime soon. Loved your Super Bowl commercial, by the way.
Thank you. That was the easiest thing I've ever. All I had to do was just beatbox, and they animated me and made me into a fox.
It was cute. I loved that commercial. But you were rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Of course I was.
Of course you were.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're assuming that I didn't even know where the 50-yard line is. I wanted everybody that plays sports and have fun.
Go sports. Let's have fun.
Sports. Yes,
Go sports.
Exactly.
Charlie Puth, thank you so much. It was so great chatting with you. Huge fan.
Thank you. Thanks for playing the song too.